Welcome everyone, this is Finally Needles and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Terry Adwin.
Hi!
Ariandis.
Hey everybody.
And Cinders.
Hello.
Hello everyone, and this week we will head on into the news where we have a patch. 23.1.7. And this includes Bjorning stuff. Some burglar stuff.
Kind of an understatement, because my reaction. So my reaction upon reading what the changes were going to be, because we actually got the patch notes like before the patch happened. Was I typed in Discord to everybody? I'm like, oh my god, bears! Because it's freaking bears everywhere. You know it's going to be bears everywhere.
Yeah, there is.
I might have some issues with the update.
That's for like how sometimes sometimes I get annoyed when I go to Storm Region DDO and there are druids in animal form constantly going through the marketplace. I'm wondering, really?
Right? Like, do you really need to be a bear all of the time?
Yes.
If Sans was
do
here,
you really?
If Sans was here, she would say yes. Yes, you do.
I know, but do you really?
And of course, that plus 40% run speed is definitely
it's ridiculous.
I'm excited to try out a bear. I think it'll be fun to at least check out.
Yes. So as you can hear then that there are many updates to the Bjorning, and people are either trying out the Bjorning or returning to their Bjorning or something like that to see how the update works and does it help them, because of course you get the big debate on the forums where half the people are saying that bears are OP and the other half are saying that they're underpowered, and you know, the usual thing.
They were OP to start with. This is just making it worse. This did not fix things.
Well, it probably depends.
Stupid furballs.
Yes, Terry, I get the impression she doesn't like those furballs.
However, even with that impression, it's probably worth noting that every single one of us has now created a brand new Bjorning.
Pretty much.
But in my defense, I'm giving up the old Bjorning because I have no freaking clue how to play her. Because I wasn't going to roll a new bear, but I have to give up my old bear because I'm not relearning skills at level 40. I'll just do it from scratch.
Well, and what you could do is once you get this one leveled up to 40, you could pick up the other one if you wanted to.
I don't know that I'm going to want to. I'm so salty about the bears. I really am.
Yeah, you talk about Terry Adwin, who, as you could imagine, isn't exactly the greatest liker of the bear.
I mean, I named a character Down with Bears, okay? that was on purpose.
Yes. Therefore, there have been many tweaks to the Bjorning, and that their forms are now treated as stances so that you can go in and out the various forms.
And the default stance is the bear!
Yeah, and it doesn't help that they talk about what bonus you get in bear form, but I didn't see any reference to any bonuses you get in human form. So
there's none. There's no bonuses. Bears all the time.
Yeah, if there are no bonuses being in human form, then what does it exist even?
I don't know.
Yes, and at level 15 you can get the Wanderlust form, which allows you in bear form to travel along at 40% at a 40% run bonus, which is, as Terry mentioned, the fastest run form in the game.
It's ridiculous.
These bears can book it.
This is why Sans is so excited for bears.
Down with it.
Literally, the biggest reason is it lets her run faster. That's part of why she loves her hunters so much, is because they can run like crazy. And yeah, so she's quite excited for the fact that they can run at 40% run speed.
Why doesn't she like wardens?
She does like wardens. I'm not sure. I think maybe she just feels like you're the warden.
I didn't quite catch that last bit.
I said she might just feel like you're the warden, and she's the hunter, and Terry's the champion. And just not want to step on anybody's toes. That could be it. I honestly don't know. But she does have an affinity for running around shooting things randomly, so. Not with lethal weapons.
In and out during that last bit.
Sorry. I was saying that she does have an affinity for running around and shooting things with a bow and arrows. The non-lethal version, the kids' version, but.
I'm the only one who has trouble hearing her.
I think so.
I think so.
Then I will just continue on then. And on there are all sorts of statistical changes. Also, I'm not going to go into that. I think we discussed that during the...
Yeah, we covered burglar changes pretty well.
Yeah, during the dual borer stuff.
But I really like the thrown knife thing, I gotta tell you.
Okay, that's going into the burglar thing. Yes, for them. Now, I had been doing on the burglar, since I'm doing my series with the burglar, I was recording several episodes this week. I go in there, and I'm in the beginning of the first one. I said, why am I so weak right? Oh, yes, I'm supposed to retreat. Burglars have to retreat when they...
Yeah, you don't have the thing coming up telling you that you need to pick a specialization, which is a little weird.
Yes, that did not come up, so I didn't think about it. And I was wondering at first, it says, why am I walking so slowly? Because I'm not in blue line yet, so therefore I'm going at zero speed while in stealth, So that was something. Also, yeah, so there are also some changes to the burglar, not nearly as extensive as those with the bear. But there were a few things in there also that you have to keep in track of. So just remember to make sure that if you're playing a burglar or Bjorning to retreat when you next log in. And the rest of the changes are minor. I think we already covered all of those. So let's go into items.
Actually, we didn't quite cover all of them. We skipped over the fact that the Yuletide Festival instances, despite what the patch notes say, if you go in as a duo, you're really going to end up playing as a small fellowship.
Okay, I was talking about class changes.
Oh, okay. But I was at the very top of the patch notes.
Oh, okay. Oh, way up there. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We totally skipped over them.
Oh, yes, because I think there's all that talked about the bears that I went to the actual breakdown. Yes,
we jumped the gun, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, the new seasonal instances. I completely jumped over that. And that's right, we had the Yuletide Festival, Battle of Frost Bluff, and the vaults, Stormvagun so therefore you could go into the snowfields and try to rescue the snowfields for the kids, or you could go into one of the bosses, that giant at the end of the Heligrod Giant Wing. As for these things, as one noted for, they say that the instance for Frostbluff is solo, duos, small fellowships, and fellowships. That duos is completely untrue. You go in as a duo, you're playing in small fellowship. There is absolutely nothing in there that indicates that you're playing as a duo, and if you go in there with two people, you're being bitten hard. Okay, you're being bitten hard no matter what you do, but that's beside the point. Because you're playing in small fellowship mode, you only have 2/3 of what you need, and you could easily pull in a third, of course, because you're playing in small fellowship mode. So we tried it on Friday. It was a Thursday. Sans and I went in with this at thinking there was a duo mode. We went in there. We were getting punched in the face constantly. So then eventually we started going in nice and slowly, try to see what we can do. And eventually I think we wound up waiting a little while so that Cinders could get home so that she could join us. So we could finish the thing. It was vicious, and I find the whole thing in general is because I have played this in solo, small fellowship, full fellowship, and it's a very tough instance. I don't know if any of you have any other different experiences on that.
I haven't done it yet.
So that was literally the first time that I had done it, and I only did that part with you guys.
Ariandis?
Sorry, push to talk.
Oh.
I haven't had a chance to try it yet.
Okay, you haven't had a chance to try it either. Alright. So I've tried it on all the modes, and yeah, pretty much every single time it was tough. Usually there are quite a number of deaths involved with it. The rare times where I haven't, I was within very tiny amounts of getting defeated in there. And I was thinking, when you think about winter, festival instance, it sounds like, a nice, relaxing instance. Nope. Summer one I felt was brutal, and this one I feel is brutal. I guess that's where that's going to be. And as for the vaults, the one against the giant, we tried that one, and it looks like it's pretty much the same as the boss fight in Heligrod, except it's with 6 instead of with 12. And yeah, I felt it was brutal too, because I think we spent half the time releasing, come back in, boom, killed, release, come back in. I think everybody there got killed at least once when we did that one last night, and we weren't all dead at the same time, so it wasn't technically a wipe from the point of view of the game, so no reset or anything like this, but at one point or another, everyone had to release and come back in because that was just a brutal instance. Oh, of course, Mythgard group isn't exactly what you call a hardcore kin. I believe that our group was, we were running in around 62. This level person was 54. I had set it to 57. One person with a higher level than the instance, and we were all still being beaten to death. Anyone else have anything they wish to add related to the sequel instances, other than that thing about the duos being wrong?
No, that was it.
I think it's cool that they made them. I mean, they might be challenging or, whatever level, but I think it's cool that they actually added it in.
Yeah, it is an interesting little twist in there, but I have a feeling I'm not going to be doing them much unless there is something I really want in there, because even with my Warrens who are able to get there, through getting there, staying alive barely in the solo mode, at least it still takes a long time, and I feel like it's long enough to be tedious. I felt the same way about the summer ones also a few times. I suppose I could drop it a couple of levels, maybe. See how low level you could set it and still get those tokens that you need. Alright, there have been new rewards added for the Yule Festival barter vendors. Alright, including housing items, new avatar cosmetics, new emotes, a new bassoon, and a new steed with matching Warseed appearances. And who here has seen this stuff already?
I saw some of the cosmetics.
Let's say I took Cinders to the Yule Festival and had her specifically looking for what the cosmetics were. She's really excited about the cosmetics and the new horse, so I'm looking forward to doing some running around in the Yule Festival so that I can get all of the cool outfits. But I did not.
Are the cosmetics still account bound?
I think they are, but they have them in gift boxes as well.
Yeah, but
but Terry likes to be able to swap them between accounts.
Well, and
friends.
Not just that, you want to be able to share them with friends when the festival is off, and you can't do that with a gift box, because once it's opened, it's bound to whoever you give it to. They really, really, really need to stop doing this.
Let's say, honestly, I didn't look that closely at it. I just wanted to know what they looked like, because I just get them on each of my accounts. And people share with me, and then I send it back.
Yeah, except they can't share with you if it's in a gift box.
Yeah. Let's say I've definitely, at the last festival, I ran around and picked up cosmetics and got them as the gift box version, and then gave them to Sans, because she didn't have the time to run around and get them on her own. But I just did the gift box versions. So.
But they look really cool.
They do, and they dye really awesomely. The only thing I'm not so sold on is the hat for this year's has the bird face on it.
Probably to go with the whole theme thing that they got going on.
It matches the Halloween one to an extent. Like it's the same face as the Halloween one, but it's got different stuff around it. Instead of feathers, it has, I think, just like a fabric around it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks pretty fierce.
Yeah, it does. I was kind of taken aback by it at first, but I don't know. It's not what I expected, but it looks okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think there were a couple of different things like that I was just like, oh, well, that's an interesting choice, but overall, I really was quite excited.
Yep.
Right. And as for quests and adventure areas, as we mentioned during the Bulwer patch notes earlier, they now have tier 2 and 3 difficulty levels for the Rift of Nurj Gashu and for Heligrod, Dragonwing, and Spiderwing. Oh, actually, yeah, to the Rift and to Heligrod. Only to the... to the Dragon... No, not to the... No, the Spiderwing was something else, but in adding a few more Spider Brews in there. But the Dragonwing and the Rift, those two now have a tier 2 and tier 3 difficulty in case you really want to make things a little bit tougher. And I suspect that was inspired by the new servers for their captive content.
Well, hey, if you got the 4 hours to do the Rift, you might as well do it on tier 3.
Well, then it'll take 6 hours.
Right?
Well, I was thinking more like 12, just multiplying it by the level. So 4 hours on tier 1, 8 on tier 2, and 12 on tier 3, block out the entire day and just run it.
There you go.
Yeah, I suppose that is likely the case. And let's see, anything else? I don't want to go through everything that we've gone through before. But anyway, there's this long list of things that have the same quest and adventure areas. And for UI, they are testing out the quest log and quest bestowal panels now support dynamic font resizing so that you can increase the size of the font when you are in your quest panel.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter a lot of people were really excited about this.
Yeah, so when you increase it, then it makes it larger. And the idea of that, I think, is one of the reasons that inspired this is because it's practically impossible to read it under 4K monitors, I've been given the impression of. So you can do that, increase it quite. Unfortunately, that update did create an issue with the High Elf starter instance. Because apparently there are just so many rewards there.
Oh gosh.
That now that the button to finish the quest is not reachable. So that's something that they need to take care of, and that they have announced that there is most likely going to be a 23.1, I guess it's a .8 or it'll be a .7.1 or whatever it is, that will address this next week. In which to take care of that, and maybe a couple of other things. So yes, this patch for this week is not going to be the last one of the year. There will be another one next week, barring anything that prevents it from happening. But I have a feeling they do want to get this fixed because it'll be impossible for you to start a high elf until they fix that one. So I think that's a priority fix. And there is also a new panel called Socket Control that can be used to socket or unsocket individual essences. And advanced graphic options, frill terrain color. This is a new graphics option to apply terrain color to frills to better blend in with the underlying terrain. It is not currently blending very well because you get some rather fluorescent colors when
Oops.
Yeah, because you go through the Shire or someplace like this and you have this glowing green or blue when you're going through there sometime. One person did a screenshot saying, maybe I'll keep this during the holiday season because he's showing all these things that are showing all these fluorescent colors. So yes, a couple of things not working perfectly. There are some known issues. The Yuletide Festival barter bug. The two cloaks of Vendena Greenhand, the Yule Festival token vendor, have swapped names. The hooded battle at Frostbluff Cloak will sell you the non-hooded version, and the Battle of Frostbluff Cloak will send you the hooded version. Yeah, so they got the names swapped.
That cosmetic has a snowman on it.
Okay, so I suggest that if you want to avoid any troubles whatsoever, wait until after. I hope that's also going to be scheduled for the short patch next week, because because I'm not too sure how they're going to change that. I mean, I hope that, because there are some people who may buy the one by name, there are other people who buy it check the appearance, by the appearance. So it could create problems no matter which way they change things. So therefore, my best suggestion is to wait until after the update before getting that cloak.
And so if you try it on, it actually shows you what you're getting, but like they say, the name itself is just the only part that's flipped.
Right.
But you would have to try it on to know.
Yeah.
Or just get both, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Exactly.
Well, yes. If you get both, it'll be moot. Right. The frill terrain color setting is not functioning properly, causing frills to sometimes be displayed with improper colors. That's the thing we were just talking about a little while ago. So keep that in mind. And also, some speed modifiers from skills and equipment will stop Wanderlust from working. The joke I've been saying was, how do you keep a Bjorning from running so fast? Give him a speed buff. Because some speed buffs just stop. I think one person was wearing one of those boots that gave a 5 or 8% speed bonus buff, and that one was canceling out Wanderlust.
Oops.
So the person was only getting 8% instead of 40%. Oh, I think actually one person might have had, those things you get from the store that give you, I think, 10% bonus. I think he just clicked about 8 hours worth of those things. And that prevented the Wanderlust from working.
Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah. So that's a little bit of a thing that they'll have to also fix. A Frill Trinkle. Let me turn that off on my system. All right, there you go. And Runekeeper, the power over time restores given by Blue Line trait Prelude of Power is currently draining power instead of restoring it.
That could be problematic.
Maybe just a little.
That has got to be... Now that's what I call a nasty bug. And the Eridor map is broken for the French game client and only displays at the top left corner of the map.
Which seems like an odd thing to break.
Yeah, it sounds like an odd thing to break. And for the Bjorning, Grimbjorn Spirit is not working properly and will be addressed in a future update. I'm hoping that they mean for 23.1.8. Bjornings in bearer form will not always appear as bears to other players after zoning in or logging in. That was something I saw last night when someone says, when we had a Bjorning in the Friday night fight, and the Bjorning was setting up the lower level group, so was jumping up and down in bear form, and everyone says, okay, look at the jumping bear, and I'm looking around, I don't see a bear anywhere. And I says, well, what jumping bear? He said, over there. Oh, you mean the Bjorning? Because I didn't see a bear there. So what he did is he switched back to man form. Of course, I just saw him stay in man form, and then switched back to bear form, and then I was able to see him in bear form. Ranged weapons are currently usable while in bear form. I think we talked about that earlier. Debilitating bees and sluggish stings do not work properly if both are traded. Relentless Maul still has a few issues we will address in the future. It doesn't say how far in the future, whether that's next week or whether that's in January. There are tooltip issues with various skills that still need to be addressed, and unlocking the yellow line trait bonus Grimbjorn Strength is currently causing sacrifice to only last for 10 seconds instead of the intended 20 seconds duration. And finally, one more thing I should add that I couldn't find, I missed it in the patch notes, but there is a new vendor in Lalia's Market called Dusty, and she has loot boxes that are openable with the old keys. So if you have old keys that you...
Oh, I thought those were already in the game.
Oh, were they or all there already? Okay. Oh, I thought they were being added this patch. Okay.
I don't remember. I'm having trouble keeping track of which patches are which.
Yeah, because I know that was on Bulwer, so I thought this is when they got it added. Anyway, the loot boxes cost 1 silver, 32 copper each, so it's not a huge value. So in other words, it's not something that you have to pay an arm and a leg for, but if you need to use up any old keys, you could go into Lalia's Market. She's sitting near Lalia. And
or you could sell your not bound keys and make a fortune.
Well, I suppose there is that possibility also. Why are people still buying them for ridiculous prices?
I don't know. I don't know if they are, but that seems like the best way to get rid of them for me, because I'm not opening loot boxes.
Well, I suppose...
I don't give business to that hobbit.
That's right. You don't like Lalia all that much.
No, I really don't.
Is Is it because of her dealing with Mithril, or is it because of that experience in the Barrow Downs?
Both.
No good experiences with Lalia. Oh well. Now, anything else anyone wants to mention concerning the update? Then let's head on into the LOTRO Beacon issue number 90, where it looks like we have a Winter Festival theme on the top plate there on the masthead up there, or whatever.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So that's something from the Winter Festival. And in our community spotlight on December 16th, 7 p.m., GMT plus 1, I guess that's Central European time. The Monbarden Christmas Party is on Balaguer. With new stage play, MSDS Part 2, Middle-earth is looking for the superstar. Music and friends. Location, the Bree Homestead, Burstow, Berenstal, High Street 1, Hochstrasse 1 on the server Balaguer. Hopefully they give the names in both English and in German, so hopefully you'll understand one or the other. This is tomorrow as of this recording, so unless you're listening to it live, you're probably not going to get this message in time, of course, unless you read the beacon.
Which everybody should be doing anyway.
Yeah, there is that. And Hisela is currently organizing a hobbyist Yule calendar over the Grand Order that needs your help. And photos should be submitted by December 17th. This podcast goes up on the 17th. So probably depends on when on the 17th the deadline is. Winterfest is being held this weekend and will be finishing up on Sunday. So once again, unless you're listening live, then you'll be missing that little one. So a lot of these things are for this weekend. Cosmetic LOTRO has a new outfit on site, even though the legendary outfit that they link to is actually the previous one. Because there is one after that, because there is the Swan Maiden, which was...
Yeah, but the Swan Maiden wasn't the legendary outfit.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the most recent one. They have...
Yeah, but Swan Maiden came out today.
Yeah, Swan Maiden, Swan Maiden came out today. Winter Wear is the one that I noticed that was after, and legendary outfit is the one called Smart there with a hobbit. Now, winter wear is obviously it's a wintry one. Is that related to the new cosmetics, or is that something completely different? It's the Icing Pool Assault.
It is the old, or it is newer cosmetics. Hang on, I just clicked on the wrong link.
A lot of the stuff is from Arid Adventures Quartermaster.
Yeah, it's Arid Mithrin.
So that's what we have in there. So we have then 3 recent outfits by Cosmetic LOTRO then. The one that's linked to, and then 2 that are following that.
Yeah, she's been very active since starting up again on the Legendary server, so I'm super stoked.
Anyway, Sam Burke has noted that Grimbjorn has a crazy large amount of children. How many times did Radagast visit and asked him to send out a kid into the world? Yeah, he was busy creating the entire population of Bjornings by himself, apparently.
Well, that's the Bjorning backstory, is you're all Bjorn's kid.
Yeah.
So, and those bears get into all kinds of trouble, by the way.
Don't say. Oh, yes. Constantly you're running into siblings and cousins who are in some sort of trouble.
All the time.
All the time. For the Kin Hall, Warriors of the White Tree is a rank 10 kin with an island kin house on the Arkenstone server, and they are currently recruiting under new leadership and need new recruits. They are a mixed PvE group looking to have fun without drama. They ask for mature, fun-loving players to join us and help the kin grow again. They are planning to have book nights and quest runs to help all members advance in level. Contact Narlis, Daphne, and Aliou in-game about joining. And now comes our weekly comment. What one dish is on your Yule dinner menu? Oh, what's one dish on your dinner menu? Okay, that's my list.
Pie.
Type of pie?
Cheesy
Coney
garlic
pie?
mashed potatoes.
Blueberry pie? Apple pie?
Yes.
Let's say we actually do snacks. Snack foods, and the one that comes out every year, both at Thanksgiving and again around this time of year, is shrimp dip. It's one of the only sea creatures in our diet growing up because my mom really doesn't care for the taste of fish. But we all love shrimp dip, and it's very rich, it's very yummy, and for some of us, it's still the only kind of seafood that we eat.
Well, and I was sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, continue.
I was just going to say, I was teasing about pie. For us, one dish that comes every year, like Cinder said, for Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's a cranberry apple casserole, and it's really, really good.
It sounds delicious.
Yeah, it's cranberries, apples, sugar, walnuts, and oatmeal mixed. It's really good.
That'd be awesome. Do you guys have a specific recipe, or do you guys just kind of throw it together?
It's my mom's recipe, which translates to get it close enough. And I mean that with all due respect. I love my mother to death. But
Fair enough.
It's not an exact science.
Neither is ours. And depending on if grandma makes it or if mom makes it, you either get it chunky or you get it blended smooth.
Let's head into the fan site news then, where you could watch Down with the Dour Hands on LOTRO Ward North Downs Ultra Car with Fibro Jedi. You could watch Gondor Has No Druids with Druids Fire Epic Shenaniganery with Tesla the Panda. Watch Yes, a fun word to see how many times I could trip over trying to say it. Adventure After Dark with Diged Mustafa. And you watch Lotro, the Valviel edition. And you'd watch Be Bold, Be Wary with Apulu Felgar. And you could watch Middle-earth with The Moose. You watch Lord of the Rings gameplay part 144, Howling in the Hills with Gameolio Dan. And you watch Lord of the Rings, Bard, Bagpipes, and Battles with Doug Glendower. And The Road Goes Everon with Gravity. And Mythgard and Middle-earth with the Tolkien Professor. And as for our screenshot of the week, Crown of Antlers posted this week's screenshot of the week.
And it's awesome.
Great.
Appropriate name, I will say, for the character.
For sure.
Pretty great. What
Yeah.
steed is that?
That is the
It's the winter. It's the Winter's Light steed, I believe. It's the steed of Winter's Light. I just don't know.
Last year, right?
Year before last, I think.
So it's available for Mithril?
I think it's a Mithril steed this year, yeah. Because I think officially last year's steed was the elk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right.
And then this year's steed is a new one. It's a horse again.
So funny story about the elk. Sorry, side note, but this happened this week. It was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, I'll save it for this week in LOTRO. Sorry, never mind. Keep going.
Then, all right. Anything else then for the weekend before we head into store sales? And Terry, what's on sale?
Well, it's the Radagast and Friends pack, or I think that's what they called it, Radagast and Friends. 20% off now through December 20th of all pets and kites. Ingredient packs, select housing items, and select mounts. The weekly coupon gets you a 5% attack damage, 90 minutes with coupon attack now through December 20th. And I forgot to put in the Yule savings, but Yule savings, week 2. 35% off Journeyman Riding for the account, which is fantastic. 50% off Enhanced Reputation Supply, and 75% off the Rohan Deed Tillman. I'm not 100% sure what that is, but okay.
I was looking at it earlier today. It lets you complete all of the Rohan quests and some of the deeds. That's completely unusable if you have an Ariad character. So it essentially provides that function that the Ariad characters get when they use their Aria. Fills them all in for you. And you can't go back and redo them once you've used it, I don't think.
I would so much rather just go do those quests.
Yeah. And apparently there's also a new cosmetic slot available.
Yes, they finally opened up Cosmetic Slot 8 now that they're not on sale.
But they exist, and it's awesome.
Yep, I'm waiting till the sale. I'm being good. I can use the 8th slot, but I need a sale.
Now, out of curiosity, I decided to get a loot box for a key that I had. And you want to see, this is what I got from this loot box. Remember, this is a level 120 character that's a cook, all right? I got a Tome of Extraordinary Experience. Right, for a capped character.
Super useful.
All right, 300 motes of enchantment. Okay, I guess that could be potentially useful. And 25 Dalemen's crams. What?
And this is why I recommend you just sell your keys on the auction.
Yeah, I can see your point there.
I guess they just thought you were really super hungry. They were like, you know what? You know what Pine Leaf needs right now?
Pine Leaf needs snacks.
Lots and lots of crap.
Yeah, that happened. LOTRO Players News is brought to us by Dwarven Breaking Crew of Fickle Gundu.
Yay!
All right.
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
You'll get into that later. All right. We'll see what the Wrecking Crew is up to, but let's head into the site news first, where we have another installment of 99 Instances, this time Dol Guldur. which is a treasure trove of instances, which includes the Sword Halls. The Sword Halls is a 3-player instance, and that one is back when Mirkwood was capped, and I think even for some time after that. Sword Hall's very popular with people doing Sword Hall runs for the challenge and stuff like that. I remember, I think half the times I see people looking for groups, it was for Sword Halls.
Yeah, you still actually see them occasionally because it's just such an easy run.
Yeah, because it was such an easy run. I think today, probably today it's just that you might not see it as often because you just
because Court of Saragost.
Yeah, well,
so much easier.
Well, there is that. Then I don't know. Personally, I thought Sword Halls was easier than Saragost.
It depends on the group.
Okay. Then Warg Pens is the second one of those. Or some will refer to it as the King of X. Yeah. Squarely refer to it as the King of XP and Power Leveling.
Yep.
I've not done Warg Pens all that often. I think I might have done it 3 or 4 times total or whatever. I think maybe 1 or 2 times before the restructuring and 1 or 2 times after it. So I'd never really gotten into it, but then I've never been into power leveling either, so I suppose there is that. And Dungeons of Dol Guldur, that's one that I very definitely rarely do. I think I might have done it twice, and when I say only done it twice, I obviously mean the full real version as opposed to the small version you get in the skirmish. In fact,
we train wrecked it on adventures.
What?
That was that was one of the notable train wrecks on adventures. Actually, I mean, it was really a train wreck.
Yes, and that is, in fact, if I've only done it once, it would be the one that was on adventures, because there's only on special situations like that where I've ever done it. So that's a rare one, and I don't think it's that popular when I don't think I'm all that unusual in rarely doing it, but am I wrong on that?
Probably not.
Probably not? Okay. Samath Ghoul, the old Necromancer Siren's throne room, is the decor to Samath Ghoul. That's that of course that's the 6-player one, and that has 4 bosses in it.
That's the one where you can die in interesting ways.
Yes, you can die in interesting ways. You've got I think they have managed to find every single way you can die that you could think of in that particular instance.
And then some, because I remember my burglar Sarissa got bounced off a wall and over the battlements.
Yeah. So, yes, it was. It's a crazy one. It's one that you have to figure out the mechanism, because the first time you do it, if you don't know that you're not supposed to fight everybody in the starting room, do that, you'll just run after infinite respawns, because you have to run up ahead and bring the fight up if you're going to get those spawns to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I remember my first time on there. Okay, yeah, that's about how many orcs are we killing now? If you're working your orc deeds. But usually orc deeds are no problems in Mirkwood. So those are the 4 that I notice he does not refer to Baron Dulgor, so I presume that he's going to do a separate article on them, probably for Baron Guldur. But my guess is that will be a later article. But anyway, these are the 4 non-raid instances that you could find in Dol Guldur in northern Mirkwood. In southern Mirkwood. Mirkwood's mixed up. And we also have from the Antipodean writer a birthday ring song. I think I'll just recite it as a poem.
Yeah.
My precious, precious, precious ring. Now of my birthday will I sing so many, many years ago, when above the ground I wandered so in sunlight. Yes, in gladdened fields, when to my seeking hands searched yields, my precious Beagle thought that he might take you himself. I put him right. My ring, my precious. In my palm you came to me, my luck charm. Now I could stalk by day unseen from mortal eyes. Yet they demean me. They reject me. On me turn their ire when of my powers they learn. What envy! Though I should be king, their spite cost me now everything. I curse them. From each hearth and home now banished, I the world now roam by night. Oh yes, sunlight to my eyes hurts very much. Yet when we tries wandering by night, the hateful moon hurts our eyes too. A plenilune and painful light too much to bear drives me to seek a safer lair under the misty mountain. Deep I searched for a place where to sleep. My new abode. No thieves can pry or steal my precious ring. Hereby myself I live and dwell alone, safest beneath the spouting stone. Best to have lost the sunny day. A higher price I gladly pay than have my precious stole away. Yeah, that's Golem.
Well done.
Yeah, now let's head into our new player question. And I presume that's back to Arendis?
Yep, a simple question this week, but one that I've wondered for a while. I know that when you first get the notification for the Winter Festival quest that they give you a map, and I think you can only use it once since it's a consumable.
Right.
Every year that I've done the festival, I wasn't exactly sure how to port back in, so I would never leave. I would just... No, you laugh. That was actually true. I didn't want to get out and not figure out how to get back in again, so I would just park that whatever character in the festival grounds until I didn't want to do the festival anymore, and then I would leave. So I know there must be a way to port in and out, but I don't know where it is. Can you please tell me where it is?
Any starter zone stable master has a second stable master next to them. For the winter
that says Festival Stable Master.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
See, I think you can actually buy the maps as well with your Yule Festival coins, but you might as well just use the free ride back and forth from the areas.
Yeah, because they don't charge... Those Festival Stable Masters don't actually charge you anything either.
No.
Oh, nice.
You just get to go back and forth.
I knew there had to be a way, I just didn't know where it was, so thank you.
Yeah. So that'll be at the... It's definitely at the Bree, Mickle Delving,
And Thorns Hall.
Thorns Hall, and Kellendam. So at those four locations, there definitely are. I don't know if there are any others, but if you get to any of those four, you should be able to easily get to the festival grounds. And any festival that you have, there is generally a festival horse to the main festival area that's involved there.
So, although sometimes, like with Summerfest and things like that, you can also ride there from where we're at because it's an actual known location.
Right.
Yeah, actually, Frostbluff was the first festival to have its own stable master because it's in that different zone. They used to never have the other stable masters. That's a recent thing.
Then let's head into our weekend. I presume we answered your question, right?
Yes.
All right. Then let's head into our weekend Lotro. And Cinders, what were you up to?
Well, we touched on it briefly already, but I got to try part of a new holiday instance with Pine Leaf and San Swinda. They started it before I got home from work. And when I got home, they go, would you please help us? And I said, of course I would. And so I helped them. And then when we finished with that instance, we did a little bit more in Aaron Mithrin to make sure that I was caught up to the group. And then we decided to roll some new Bjornings and got them through the starter instance. So that was fun. And then I finished the Thickle Gundu solo instance today. I got a little bit lost, and it took me about an hour to figure out that I was just lost, and I had run past the door multiple times that I needed to walk through. And I was looking all over the wiki, and I was checking the forums, trying to figure out if the issue that I was having getting to the next area was a bug, or if it was just something in the game. Finally, I was like, I'm going to run past everything one more time, and I'm going to run into every little nook and crevice here. And as I did that, I discovered the entrance that I needed. I was like, oh, okay. So, yeah. I was very confused for a while, but I did make it through, and I finished it, and I survived, and my bear died a lot. But other than that, all was well. How was your week, Rindus?
Push to talk. Or Discord is doing the thing.
Yeah, okay. So Discord is not being kind to Arendis, apparently?
You know, it was working fine.
Alright, so Terry, what?
So Terry Edwin also completed the solo instance in Thickle Gundu with the aid of a dwarven wrecking crew because it was amazing. And those dwarves, they're like serious bosses. I mean, it says, I don't actually think it tells you that you need to keep them alive because you don't really have to worry about keeping them alive. There were a couple of times when I thought my health might be a little bit in danger, and then a dwarf came along and healed me, so. I did not get lost in the instance, though, because I had been playing tourist pretty much the whole way through because I am still really loving the whole Grey Mountains zone. So I'm doing a Corey Olsen thing where I pay attention to like all of the architecture. So I actually found where we needed to go, except my deed is incomplete, so I'm wondering how we're going to get that done, but we'll figure it out. And my burglar Sarissa finished up in the Entwash Vale and got all the way to Snowborn. So remember I was saying I was tired of being in the Eworth because I had a bunch of characters in the Eworth? She's not in the Eworth anymore. She finished up in Entwash Vale. She did all of the stuff in Eves of Fangorn, which was all waking up all of the Ents and then getting the Tree Herder title, which she will probably never use, but it's cool that she's got it. And then went to Garsfeld, and it's always entertaining riding into towns in disguise and seeing how far in you can get before it disables on you. Because the war steed skills are not usable in towns. In cities, usually.
Right.
unless it's a city in which you might eventually have combat in. But Garsfeld is not one of those, and then neither is Snorborn, which is where she ended up. So yeah, it took me 2 tries to do the feeding of the cat instance because the guards were just not cooperating with me, and every time I went one way, there was a guard. So I'm trying to backtrack and not get spotted, and ran out of time and lost the basket. And then this week was not a girls' Sunday, so my every other Sunday activity is my master burglar on Arkenstone, and his 2 apprentices in Moria, because hobbits. And we ran all over the place. We did some of the stuff to start out the Zalem Malek deed. I don't know that we're necessarily going to finish it, because this is still a challenge character for me. I have not turned back on the stuff that was turned off on him. So, he doesn't have like the quest icons or red dots or stuff like that. But, it's fine. When you go running around half of Moria in stealth anyway, you don't need to know where the mobs are because they're not going to see you. Yeah, and just drag the hobbits along in his wake was awesome. So now, Arendis, that you're back and Discord has stopped doing the thing, how was your wake?
It was great. Sorry, guys. I have no idea what happened there. I checked out the Winter Festival, which is probably my favorite festival. Not gonna lie, I think this is my 3rd year doing it out of 3 years in LOTRO. I earned enough tokens to barter for the Vestments of the Northern Sky, which is one of the new cosmetics with the feathers on it, and I'm really excited about it. Maybe just a little. I'm going to try to earn enough for a few more cosmetic pieces. And earlier I promised a story about a winter elk. Apparently last year I had purchased one and I completely forgot about it. So when I logged in today and went to look at the mounts at the Winter Festival this year, I saw the elk and I started freaking out, going, okay, how many tokens do I need to get to earn this? And I went in and for some reason it was red. It had the red, you cannot get this border around it. And I was like, why? And it said, barring trait winter elk. And I was like, do I already have? Sure enough, I had bought one last year. So it just goes to show how good my memory is. I also made a baby Bjorning to try out the class for the first time, especially with all of the new class changes. I thought it'd be a fun time to try it out. And I'm excited to see how it goes. So I guess Pineleaf, how was your week?
I was just taking a look at the Herald of the Northern Star horse, which is this year's horse. And compared to all the horses they've had recently, this one's actually relatively simple, except for the lantern that's on it. It's usually they're overly complex in recent years.
Yeah, it was just a really nice return to a horse.
Yeah, to a horse.
I mean, I like the other steeds too, but the horse, especially when you're transferring cosmetics over to like a war steed, being able to know what it's going to look like is really awesome. And I also really like the simple one because it's easier to match stuff to a lot of the time.
Yes. Let's then go into my week in LOTRO. On my Crick Hollow Burglar, where I'm doing my burglar series, I completed Southern Mirkwood, meaning I finished up all the skirmishes and finished up Book 9. I actually did a good portion of the quests in there. I actually did enough quests to unlock swift travel at all the known points that I visited, which I think has been unusual on the characters I've had recently. Because recently I think I've didn't get that last one to get the bongo hod with swift travel or something like this, but this time I managed to do that. Though I didn't record all of that though. I was mainly concentrating on the epic and on bingo for the stuff that was being recorded. And on my honor warden, I completed all of the deeds in Ered Luin. So that's now 2 zones that are complete, the Shire and Ered Luin. I suppose that means Bree is going to be next, since I've done the lower areas of Bree, but of course you have all that level 15 to 20 stuff that you do with all those orcs and the barrel downs and all that fun stuff that I still need to do for that. And then during the field trip, we finished we did stuff in Ivendim, finished up the Colossus quest, and after we did that, we decided, let's try the Frostbluff instance. So we're doing the 3-player version of that. Things had a little bit of a problem there. Of course, we're talking about the Frostbluff instance, which isn't exactly known for being a kind one anyway, based on my rant earlier in this episode. And in that one, we had one of the players, our lore master, was having trouble with his internet. Apparently, whenever he plays LOTRO and has Discord open at the same time, LOTRO slowly degrades on him until it's totally useless in about half an hour after he starts playing.
Awesome.
Yeah. We have absolutely no idea. He has done everything he could think of, but somehow every other game he plays seems to be running fine. Playing LOTRO alone, I get the impression, runs fine, but playing LOTRO and being in Discord at the same time is a combination that has been poisonous to him lately. We don't know if it's that, or if it just happens to be the timing where he usually is in Discord and LOTRO during the field trip time, and if there's maybe something wrong with that time slot, or whatever it is. So something keeps always going wrong no matter what he does, and we don't know what it is. So he was having trouble with that. So it was a real thrill trying to finish the instance where we're now getting down to the boss fight time and we're 1 player short, and it's tough enough when you have a full complement of players. The only thing that helped is that he had a bog lurker there helping us because the bog lurker was still out. So at least we had that, but we didn't have the full use of the Lore Master. But we did manage to finish the instance eventually. And that was my week in LOTRO. We currently have 21 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help join this illustrious raid of players help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or you can be guests with us for an episode of LOTRO Players News. We did not receive any emails this week, but if you'd like to send us one, you can send it to podcast@LOTROplayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersOnline, and LOTRO Players @LOTROPlayers, Arendis @Arendis, Pineleaf @PineleafNeedles, Sanswinda @Sanswinda, and Terry Edwin @TerryEdwin, and Cinders @Emeralina. The Players Alliance has 2 live shows. Traditionally on Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News, but note that next week's show will be the last one that will be on Monday. That will be our last show of the year. The next show after that will be Wednesday, January 2nd, and Wednesday will be our new time slot. So therefore, DDO Players News will be moving to Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time starting January 2nd. And every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. You can join us for our live shows at LOTROplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight, and this is PineleafNeedles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.